BBI here. I want to stop and say thanks for tuning in and checking out whatever the video is about that's about ready to come up next. If you could take a minute and hit subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you've seen here, make sure to hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Anyhow, guys, all that aside, let's get on with the show. You ever have one of them moments where it just dawns on you that you're in a different place in the game than most or some of the others? I'm having one of those moments right now. These are 10A 10s. These are 10 amp, 1000 volt, 200 piece per box diodes. I figured it'll take me almost 2 days just to bend all the legs for this particular project. And I'm going to need this as well. Thick, no flexi, high temp, high voltage, red fiberglass, make BBI's balls itch, fiberboard. God damn it. Oh, I hate working with this shit. But we're going to go build something really neat. That's a lot of damn diodes. I mean, that is a lot of damn diodes. And we're going to create on these two fiberglass boards a really, really cool voltage rectifier. So here's the goal. I need to make a 30,000 volt rectifier. Okay? So each string is going to have, because we double it. So we only max saturate each diode. So instead of 30 diodes, we're going to have 60 diodes per string. Okay? We're going to say at, let's see what he requests. 30,000 at 30 amps. So we're going to only say that each string is going to pull 5 amps. So that's 6 strings per leg times 60 diodes. That's 360 diodes per leg times 4. That's 1,444 diodes. I don't think I have enough. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It's going to take roughly this many diodes to get the job done on what I'm doing. So now in the middle of this board, I've got to create 6 equally spaced strings down one side that has 60 diodes in it. And then on the opposite direction, on the opposite side, I have to produce 60 diodes in one string, 6 strings per leg, or 6 strings per side. And then in the middle, we've got to provide supports. So the boards can sit approximately 120 millimeters apart. So I can put 120 millimeter DC fans or AC fans to move air across the diodes to keep them cool. And we got to separate these two as supports. And then I've got to come up with a mounting bracket to mount this thing to the inside of the enclosure, and I need to provide at least 8 inches worth of standoff space, period. I'm building something big if you haven't figured it out.
See you, my friend. Hey, my friend. Take care. Bye, bye, bye. Well, if I come up in the pump, I wonder if I'm going to knock the camera out. Oh, come away. I said, oh, come away. I said, oh, come away in the mobile. BBI got down. Just 1, 2. Mobile, BBI, 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 Hey, BBI, look at mobile. Machine back out. I guess I ain't got no Mother Nature with old Comaway, even though he's got me at 30 dB. Turn this old house, we'll go down a little bit south. I hear my homeboy 918 yelling at me down there. What's going on, 918? Come talk to me, buddy. Not much, not much, not much. BBI, pick it. BBI corner. You're waving. You broke again last night. I'll put the wave right back at you, idiot. I gotta talk to my radio. You know how this goes. I gotta sit here and talk to my radio, can't play no favorites. And I gotta go where Mother Nature's gonna take me. Oh, Mr. 88 in the Mojave Desert. In the high, hot desert. You'll find out of the corner with the wave right back down to you, break. How about that, Mojave Desert? Boy, you're moving in San Francisco, 101, baby. One time. Mr. Way out there got down. I heard a combination of a bunch of guys. I got 101 down here in San Francisco. He thinks I'm 88 in Mojave Desert, which I'm not on BVI. I heard 88 in the Mojave Desert. Had a little bit of 918 mixed in there too. And rolling right around on the back end of that was 650 way down south. Good afternoon, wave, gentlemen. You'll find out of the corner with this little mud deck station. Put the wave right down to you. Shot in 1080p high definition with line level audio. Hopefully it sounds good today. I was sitting here. At 101 he apologized to me. We got that figured out. Never did hear 918, 88 rolled up in there. Right at the very tail end. So 88, around the Mojave Desert. You're the one that actually had 3 whole words I could pull out of that train wreck. Your friend in the corner looking at you. Twisted up mess in my radio. There's enough for one station that can fire down and take it all away. Lock my radio up, clean it up, and tie it in a bow tie. The landlord of the Northwest got down. Twisted. Clean up! Well, I'll do it one time because you asked. I'll do it one time because you asked. Hey, DVI. I'll do it just this one time, because you asked. Train wreck gone. Yeah, wave a hand and tell everyone. Your channel snatching station in the killing fields is clear. Oh, Lord have mercy. You said you're going to do it one time and just one time only, because I ask. You said you're going to do it one time and one time only, because I ask. Channel snatching. Cleaning up machine. Around the killing fields. I want to say I was 6'9", but I could be wrong. BBI got down. Hey, DVI. DBI 63, Captain Bigger. That's my original Vegas snatcher. Hey, DBI. My original handle was Channel Snatcher. I just used 63. This was predestined 20 years ago. Hey, DVR, ease out, man. Sound good, too, Captain Bigger. Bump it down on your radar. That's 600. You want me to wave or... Channel Snatcher. Why is every time I think of Channel Snatcher, I think of Panty Snatcher? I don't know what that's all about. Stealing little cotton panties right off the girls. Hey, 63. You said you're just using the numbers. But predestined by God. Many generations ago, your handle was Channel Snatcher. Well, 63, you clean my radio up and you held it from when you keyed down till you pulled up. Ain't no doubt about that at all, my brother. Mr. 63 around at Killing Fields. Your friend in the corner with this mud duck hammer got down. Now, I don't know what you did to that radio, Captain Bigger. Hey, BBI, I don't know what you did to that radio, Captain Bigger. Don't get me wrong, you always sound good, but that Captain Bigger sounds superb today. Hey, DBI, watch this. I call that dollar butt. I'm back quiet. You know what happened, 63? Is I had a bunch of boys tell me I was sounding muffled and overmodulated in the radios. And so I went around and I listened to a bunch of gates. And I went, oh, yeah, I got a little bit too much bass going on. See, check it out. Then I flipped the switch, and it just gets to be too much. So I figured out I sounded better if I just leave that switch off. Made one small adjustment. I had these boys jumping up and down on me on this gate the motor mouth shot. He put it on his profile, and the haters descended. It's like, okay, I'm used to that. I enjoy the fames. It's all good. They're all saying, man, I sound like I got feet in my mouth and stuff. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch. So I thought I'd take a hot man fire down and work on it, and I did just that. I appreciate the compliment, 63. Take your dial button, quit clearing up my radio. I'll see you. Bye. I can tell you this, man.
Tell 63 I was waving. Bye. You know.
I'm wondering where you've been. DBI. I wouldn't touch nothing on that cap, nigga, man. I'ma ease out, man. Take the
radio cut off. Radio cut off.
Smoking today, man. That cap nigga did this thing. I'm coming to you, man. You're not gonna believe how good you sound on this radio. You're gonna want to check out a gate here in a minute. Let me sound with 63 machete. I'm coming to you. He gone. Hey, BBI. He gone. I don't know, he didn't key 63. I gotta tell you, machete, he fired down. Tell him I said it all. And then he moved back into the forest, you know, kind of like a T-Rex walking through the woods, knocking down trees. I had to step back. So I gotta tell you, 63. He come right over the top and the gate is rolling. And it's out there for everybody to see. Oh, Mr. Badman Machete around the high desert of Vegas. And Mr. 63 down there around the Killing Fields, your friend in the corner reading your mails.
I think I got mother to the stage.
Man, I ain't got no more to grab. The black Jew now. I'm sitting back down. I don't know 63 fell back to about 9 to 20. I think Mother Nature's moving off the top of this little old beam down here in Idaho. I think I need to go peel some more potato spuds and see if I can buy some more Mother Nature airtime. Alright. On the side right to side, we'll see what happens next. BBI cruise. I'm going to put the watts in the corner sliding back, and we'll see what goes down around again.
Yeah, it looks like Mother Nature up and down. I'm here in Washington State, Oregon, up in there. I'm here in Washington State and Oregon over top of you right now. Worldwide, BBI as I'm streaming live. Mr. Machete said, blah, blah, blah.
Breaker on that.
Yeah, you're sliding in and out yourself, Ron. As I'm streaming live, line level, I'll see you. Bye.
All the boys out there, Tim.
You in there? You holding down the fort? You in there while you're streaming live? You're holding down the fort, man. No pain, no strain, man. I got buzzard up in there. I hear buzzard up in there, but you coming over the top, back and forth in between here and there. Worldwide BBI, Machete. I'm in the bushes. Bye.
Let me dial this back a little bit. So dial this dope bugger back a little bit. Alright. Oh, Buggy's able to get in with me. That means I'm starting to lose Mother Nature. So I better not stay out here for too long, otherwise I'm going to get a gate chopped up, mutilated, and put on Facebook. It says, you can key on my ass. Mr. Badman Machete, been talking your ass off. I'll see you. Bye.
Buzzard, what you?
Yeah, you know what's funny? When you said you better not stay on long because he's going to kill in your ass, that's exactly what he said. He just said he's going to kill.
I'm running the gate too. And I'll see you. Don't lie, BBI 918 back out.
I heard you in there, 918. But Brother Machete's got you. I mean, he's at 40 and you're all the way down at 10. But I appreciate you running the gate. I'm going to check out what my audio sounds like coming to you. I've been working on it quite a little bit. Just to see what I can get going on. 918 me machine, your friend in the corner, rocking on.
Sign up 918 me. Don't you know you're jumping up and down and waving a hand? Let's go. We're around the governor's bench here, reading the mail.
I'll put a bump at you real quick, Warlord. So I'll put the bump down, I'll put a wave at you real quick, Mr. Warlord. Your friend in the corner reading your mail.
Hey, Machete! Hey, BB.
Wild in here. Heard Prime Key in there. Heard Prime get up in there. I heard the minister keeps going back and forth, man, between Seatown and it's all over the place with the wave. I'm not in hi-fi mode. I'm in flat out mode. Bye bye bye. Yeah, tell me that shit. You got Mother.
You telling me I got a little Prime Minister coming up keying on me? Oh, it's time to go 10-7 now. Time to run for the hills, Mr. Machete, BBI got down. Do you know the power of the dark side?
You getting down? Well, you getting down now?
Roger, right on, Mr. Prime Minister, man, the South.
I'm in the hi-fi mode. I don't know what it's all going to be about, but that's what we now we went to the hi-fi mode. I got the beat your ass mode, and I got the hi-fi mode. You riding up in there with BBI. Worldwide Minister, BBI, Mr. Machete, right back.
I don't know if I can move the founder of the Skullcracker Nation or not, Machete. I said, I don't know if I can move the founder of the Skullcracker Nation or not. BBI, rocking on.
Who's it around the sand, pals? What's going on, BBI? What's going on? Disco Duck out here on this 500-watt station. And this 24-foot LFA waving right back.
That took forever. And I don't care what anybody says. The most impressive thing I've seen in a while is Milwaukee black drill bit. That, I don't know what rare Chinesium steel. Milwaukee's got them things made. That's like 3,200 holes I just punched in this frickin' fiberboard. And it took it on the chin like a champ. Like a grade A porn star. That drill bit impresses me. I'm gonna have fiberglass dust in my eyeballs for months. I'm doing this just to basically get the dust off. Just so I can semi-fondle it. What happens next is I'll take it over, I'm going to sand the back of this. To get all the glass burrs off the back. That drill bit impresses me greatly. One drill bit, all these holes. Let's see what we got here. This is pinstriping, automotive pinstriping tape, by the way. Shit's great, it leaves very little residue, if anything. I just laid it down so I could get a rough gauge of space. That is the most video I have ever shot where I didn't talk. It's like literally 2 days worth of video. Each one of those segments is roughly an hour to an hour and a half long per segment. Even though it was in time lapse, you can't tell. I mean, I think I've occupied about maybe 15 or 20 minutes of your guys' life at this point. Now, because we're smarter than the hookers in church, but not by much. I can be proud of that. I can be proud of that. Okay. shit. This one's gonna rip too. Yep. Must have scratched it with the drill bit. Oh no, what do we do now? It's cool. I got a knife. Not a cleave. It's a kind of knife. But I got a knife. Swear to Christ. We'll get it figured out. It's 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, by the way. I'm out here twiddly dinking with this. God, I had a great day with my family, though. All right. You have watched, but you don't know you've watched it, about 3 seasons of Battlestar Galactica, which I haven't watched in like 5 years. Red Sparrow. At the beginning of this, I was watching about 10 minutes worth of midget wrestling. And where that comes from is a conversation we were having on a live feed on Facebook. But I think they were talking about midget porn. Completely separate topics, but guess what? Midget wrestling is just like regular professional wrestling. Instead of the guys being like, 5, 6, 7 foot tall, just a little bit more shorter. Yeah, a good solid 3 seasons of Battlestar Galactica. No joke. I think there might have been some Stargate in there. Not gonna lie. Used to be a little bit of a sci-fi fan. I mean, sorry, space opera. Space soap operas. Yeah. Never been to one Comic-Con. Don't ever plan on going. Okay. Might have to re-hit this here in a minute with some acetone. Let's go sand this. Let's make some real dust. It's gonna be perfect. Sit about like that.
Mr. 63, Mr. Machete, my beam is right between both of y'all. Prime Minister got down.
Hey, Prime, he's sitting down here listening to my that way, he down the
Radio cut off. Blown.
I came down here. We're in air conditioner for Daddy, man.
Bye, my last key. I'll see you.
Daddy, man, that Captain Bigger running just as cool. Hey, Prime, I could talk on this Captain Bigger all Captain Bigger day long, man. Hey, Prime Minister, and guess what? Ain't nothing he can do about it, man. I'm kind of liking this headroom I got on this Captain Bigger, Prime. I never knew what headroom is. It ain't the kind of head Machete giving, but, it's a different kind of headroom, you know? I'm gonna put you in. Let's put Machete baby bag 918 rolling on. Hey, 918 in the Mobile. 918 in the Mobile. Good evening to you too. Good to hear you on the bed. Don't down with the bag. Northwest corner, wave at bump home.
50 down south.
Get out of there. Hey, Prime, that's okay. Hey, Prime, that's how it goes from time to time. Hey, Minister, from time to time. Hey, Prime, but I'm finna make sure you don't hear that Captain Bigger no more. Don't let the motherfucker waving back. You're doing this thing. Minister, come on. Back down. I'm running the gate. 709, 918 in the Mobile. Back out.
Nothing but 6 tray. I don't think he keyed, man.
19 with the gate rolling. I'll see you. Quick clearing.
Bojangles is gay. Bojangles is gay. A prime, Bojangles is gay. A prime, Bojangles is gay. My last key gonna get something to eat. Bojangles is gay. Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye. Michelle so deep in that
Don't know the power of the dark side. Go get some lunch, mud duck. I'll see you. Bye.
Italian California, getting on down. That's all to your demise. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Prime. Hey, Prime, look around the tumbleweeds of Cali. Prime Minister, 253, that's all they got down.
You didn't cut him clean off. We keep it 100. Don't ship him, you see, when you jump like on that key. He said that's what happened when you put a steel-toed boot in a cotton picker's ass. 63, I'm right back.
See this mud duck. Hey, Prime, I'm back quiet.
bye bye. Bye bye bye, Prime. Machete said bye bye bye.
Hey, Machete. What you mean 63 wear baby shoes, man? Machete, what you mean 63?
Hey, Prime, them ain't baby shoes. Hey, Prime, them ain't baby shoes. Baby shoes, them, that's just so Daddy won't get his nuts dirty. Hey, Prime, shoes so Daddy won't get his nuts dirty. God, 918, me machine sitting back down. They got stand land, play war, no, bye, bye, bye. Let's get a cornbread, got a cup on you what?
Between you, we gonna hold you back. Me and BBI hold you two cat niggas back, right?
No, Prime, he CB, man.
I'm gonna get on out. Hey, Prime. I'm gonna get on out. Tell 63 good job. Tell 63 good job. Tell 63 blow me. Tell him good job. Hey, Prime, tell 63 blow me. Good job. Bye bye bye.
Peanut Whipple, the black jeans, food running my mouth.
63 million dollars. He said, he'll be right. He'll be all right. Daddy need him.
Oh, brown paper bag, you're rolling it.
I said, I'll see you, Machete. And I'll see you, 63. BBI got down.
You've got a big hammer.
I'll see you, BBI. Hey, BBI, you taking sole control of my radio. When you taking sole control, that's when I'm dropping out of Prime's radio. BBI, hammer, see it on the gate. I'll see you, BBI, Prime, bye bye bye, I'm gone. Click.
Homie, I've been sitting there listening to this little talk show go on between you and 63. There's like one key I got you, next key I got 63. I didn't want to get in the middle of the fight. You have a beautiful evening, my friend. I'm back quiet.
Yeah, you got primed by like 10 dB now. You got primed by like 10 dB now. I'll see you, Luke. Take care, my friend. Fun. That was fun. I'll see you.
I can't believe that man put baby shoes in your ass. I'll see you. Bye.
Switch now.
Yeah, you're smoking out here now. You're smoking. It's all you. It's all you, Luke. It's all you. Bye bye bye. I'll see you.
Yeah, that ain't a want thing. It's a Mother Nature thing, too. nothing that you move back over here. That's all there is to it. I see you, Machete. I'm back out.
Like he got 3. That's no contact on Prime Minister. I'm gonna get my hand in scat. No get back, no contact on my longtime friend, Mr. Prime Minister. The black Jew in the South is stepping in the clear.
I said, hello, Black Judge, and I said, I'll see you, 63, because I know you can hear me, too. BBI, rolling wide to the side. I'll see you. Click, click.
I'm looking at this cookie, but I'm trying to resist. Trying to do the right thing, man. So I can get a shape and look like a little 6 tray. 6
Minister Kimberly. Hey, Prime, this is my last keep for real, man. I'm gonna get on out of here, man. I just wanted to say, man, Minister, the black Jews, you know, something about a band, man. Say hello to you before you get out there, Prime Minister. It's fun, man. It's all in fun. Hey, Prime Minister, smoking got bigger, but I ain't got to tell you that. You know that. Hey, Prime, I ain't got to tell you that. You know that. Hey, Prime, I like to get that Watergate.
I said, we'll see you, 63. I said, we'll see you, 63. BBI back in the bushes.
Well, 63, I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna sing this song, man. Does he look like me? Does he talk like me? Does he think about me? When the minister's on his mind.
I see you later, DVI. Oh, Captain Boo gone.
I said, we'll see you, Captain Boo. I said, we'll see you, Captain Boo. Landlord of the Northwest, rolling right back.
My way up in there. Hey, Prime, witch doctor, looking your way.
I'm back to yourself. Mr. Candy Flower, Mr. Prime Minister, seems like Mr. Candy Flower, you, 918, Mobile, back out.
Conditions in Fresno. Good God, nigga. Mr. Witch Doctor, Dr. St. Kelly, promise, right back.
Hey, Prime Minister, black Jews, you got no conditions in Southern Cali, Captain Nigga? Hey, Prime Minister, the black Judge in Southern California, read the mail.
I ain't got much
Prime paper bag, I'm trying to put a machete in it.
Hey, Mr. Prime Minister, go start at my radio, witch doctor, right back.
Well, I got this board all stuffed up, this one here, all loaded, and it took many more diodes than I thought it would. Silly me, I'm looking at the piece lot that's on this box, and it says 200 pieces per box. Well, simple math says that there should be enough of these over here on this board. I should have had enough in this one tote to do the board, and it's not really the case. It ended up being one of these plus a full one, half one of these. So I think they're doing this by weight. They're not actually doing it by piece. And I have a feeling that there's only about 150 or so in these. So back to folding diodes.
We're going to get back out the way, man. We just been kind of sitting here listening to the 63, that cat making boy up in up there's talk show, and that cat making in, man, listening to them do battle. Catch you later, Prime Minister. The black Judge in the South threw right in my mouth. Yes, you man, I've been sitting back too long. I've been sitting back down too long because Prime Minister doing his thing, talking to 63 Machete and I think Kelly Flower. Hey, back 918, back quiet. Hey, John Deere, Mr. California. John Deere, Mr. California. Hello, John Deere, Mr. California. Checking my conditions, wait. Go on and eat your cookie, cat, nigga. Hey, Prime Minister, you know I'm just cruising down here, man. I'm not trying to fight nobody. I'm just trying to see how it belongs to you. Hey, T-Bird, I'm gone. Bye, bye, bye.
thought you said Mississippi and Arkansas is your territory, T-Bird. Bye.
He said 10 roger right on. Hey, Pine, he said 10 roger right on. I bet correct.
My
I said, what are you doing down there, Black Judge? I said, what are you doing down there, Black Judge?
Hey, good.
Hey, John Deere. I'm still checking my condition, John Deere. You know something, Prime, I'm just real, I see. Prime, Black Judge just gonna get up into it one time and then we'll get on out of here. Put on you later, Prime Minister. The Black Judge in the South, I'm through. Click. Don't get back on John Deere while T-Bird got his ear, Mr. California. Copperhead, waiting on that copper antenna thing. He's T-Bird. Talking about T-Bird. Bye, Prime. I'm 10-7. Click.
What you gotta do a little bit more. Oh, Captain Boo say have a good day up there.
Well, shit. So I made 200 more because I started to have to dip into that other drawer, as I said in a previous segment. Hopefully that's the last time I have to do that, but it probably won't be. So now we've got to flip this over. And I've got to bend and solder all the legs, and I've got to get all these diodes pulled down flat. So we'll take its partner board, which we haven't populated it yet. We're going to flip this over. Whew. This is going to be a challenge. All right, well, more time lapse. Well, instead of boring you guys all half to death, with more time-lapse video of me loading this board, this one's about 90% completed. I got to do the AC input distribution bus on the back side of it, and then the DC output bus. And where we're at now is I got all the nylon dowels set up. Now, this is kind of scary. So I went out and I bought off Amazon from Midwest 7J nylon. Okay, so this is the nylon nuts. And then out of here was the Midway West 2G nylon washers that I want to use. Now, my Ace Hardware, they sell these right down the street. They sell this nylon washer and they sell the nylon nuts. I paid, I think, $8 for this box. Oh, of course, there goes the company phone. As scheduled, right in the middle of shooting a segment. So I buy these, the washers, and I'm one short and I'm one nut short. Well, there's actually quite a few nuts short. Of course, then again, aren't we all? I was about 8 nuts short, 9 nuts short. So I had to go over and buy this washer. This washer at my Ace is $1 versus the other 20 some that I bought for like $5. And then the nylon nuts were a little bit more expensive, but for some reason at my Ace, the nylon nuts here were 54 cents a piece. It makes no sense to me. Anyhow, I've got to finish this side up like I did this side here, where I stress, and what I mean by stress is I pull these all down tight, I fold them over, I solder them, which is a nightmare and a mess, very time consuming. So the next steps that we got to go through, and I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me do this on this board. I'm just going to cut away, and when we come back, we're going to have this side of the board all done. Yeah. And the way we got to set this up is so that we can put some fans blowing on these diodes. We got to get a little bit of air circulation going on to just waft air over these diodes. Now, the way that we rated this board is this is overbuilt by double, okay, for what we're trying to achieve. I think I explained the voltages and the amperage rating when we started on this video, like, shoot, a month ago. But we've overbuilt this by double. So these diodes aren't going to necessarily get so hot, but we want to still have a little bit of air movement wafting around the diodes to help keep them at somewhat of a stable temperature for longevity in operation. So we're going to stack these vertically, and then somewhere, I think in between, I'm just going to have fans like sitting here in the middle, circulating air between the two boards. Kind of help keep everything just at a stable environment. We'll probably have one so it blows up and another one so it blows down. So we're just going to get some circulation of air. That's really all we need to achieve. Then we'll tie the two boards together with this 40 kV 10 gauge, which is amazing. This wire is amazing. That center conductor is crazy off the rockers. Now, when I built my rectifier board for my 40, I used this stuff. This is 100 kVA wire. As you can see, this is a little bit bigger. This stuff has a tendency to corona arc if it's not perfectly clean at 100 kV. Of course, we're not putting 100 kV, we're only putting about 12 kV through it, but look at the center conductor difference. Pretty substantially different. This would be like regular Stinger 8 gauge that you would buy at a regular stereo shop, and then here's, you know, Walmart's version of 8 gauge. It says 8 gauge, but the insulator is like 5 times as thick, but really this is some good stuff. But we're going to go with this because it can carry more current, and since we're shooting after current and not voltage, that's the route we got to go. So when we come back, all this stuff will be put away, all this nylon, all this stuff will be all put away. Wire will be gone, and we will have our copper straps in here, and we'll be working on building our stack, vertically starting to build our stack. All right, I shall return. But BVI, you said when you come back we'd be doing all this magical juju stuff. No, look. So I got to visualizing this out in my head, okay? And I started thinking about it. And it dawned on me when I flipped this board over, because I want to have the diodes facing each other for cooling reasons. The way I had it built so that it would have been sitting like this, that would have been double the amount of fans. And I want to flip this over. I basically had the diode stack in here 180 degrees out, so I had to take them all out and start all the way over again on reloading the board. So 7 million diodes later, okay. So let's see. So I need to make the diode string go this direction. Of course, you know how this goes. As soon as you get something done, you figure out a better way to do it. Now I'm pre-bending all the legs to make the diode string sit a little bit flatter to the board. Yay! Yeah. Let me tell you how excited I am for this. I am not. This is several hours worth of work last night wasted. But I'd rather it be right than be half-ass. The nice bit is, by doing this, every other string, I get to kind of haul boogie on it. And what I mean by that is, we'll do this one string here together. So now I can take this string and haul butt with it, just like this. Check it out. All right, I'll see you in about an hour. Well, this has been interesting. So, after discovering that I put this thing together backwards from what it needed to be after I finalized on the fan design, and the fan design didn't get finalized until after I was done stacking the board last night. We were going to put fans down this side, or we were going to put them down the end or something. So it came clear to me that wasn't going to be an opportunity or a possibility. Then I had to restack this. So before I went any further, I had my wife come out and band check it. And what I mean by band check it is to make sure everything is orientated the appropriate electrical direction. And I did the same thing. The reason we got to do these kind of crazy things is, you know, there's like 2,000 something diodes here, right? Well, it's 2,000 opportunities to have the diode facing the wrong direction and screw everything up electrically. Would it cause a catastrophic failure across the whole board? No. But would it screw up that one string? You betcha. And it'd probably screw up stuff going both directions on it. So, to overcome that, we have multiple people look at it. Well, I get that all done. It come time to flip this thing over and go to work on it. Well, I proceed to flip it over. About the only thing I could find big enough to, because I used this piece of fiberglass here on the other board, and well, couldn't do that again. I'd been too tall, and there would have been parts pushing against parts, and I didn't want to do that to myself. So I grabbed this pill board here and put it down on there and went to flip it over, and then the pill board bent in the middle, and all the diodes in the middle of this thing proceeded to drop out. So all this series of diodes fell out. So once again, flip the board back over, restack the whole board again, then go through the insane process of checking the orientation of every single diode one more time. So now what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm locking the legs down. As you can tell, this isn't a quick process. Then I got to go through and I got to solder each leg down. Then I got to trim each leg. And then technically this thing will be completed. Now we're going to go through that band process at least 2 more times. And that's to guarantee, before we put any voltage on this thing, that everything is orientated the right way. Now, The reason to say we go through it 2 more times is because we went over this one today. This one right here that's completed. And we found 3 that were in backwards. Even though we had diode checked it before, band checked it. Your brain is very good at recognizing patterns. But it gets lost in this sea of... So, you know, we could sit there and look at this 5 times. And each time we look at it, the odds of having something wrong with it go way down. So we've got to guarantee that all several thousand diodes that we're working with here are orientated the same way. The odds go way up than they're not gonna be, especially in something this tightly configured together. This has been an expensive process as far as materials go, but it's been more expensive from the standpoint of time. The time spent on this, we're going into what, day number 6, 7 or 8 on this. Not to mention the little bit of time that it took to order all the parts, a little bit of time it took to get everything in here. But the amazing amount of time was stacking all of these diodes together. And then amazing amount of time on getting them secured to the board. But I'm in the home stretch. I can see the end in sight. About 5 holes away, 2 pieces of wire, and 6 pieces of copper from being finished. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting really tired of looking at this thing. I need to be done with this though. This is eating up a lot more time than I was calculating it on. I got a 24 pill that's sitting over here that I need to work on, and the customer's just about to lose his goddamn mind. He's like, what's taking so long? I keep telling him I got another project that I committed to that the guy is waiting on also, that is before this. And it's taken much more time. I wanted to be on that 24 pill last week. But it's okay. All great things come to those who wait. And I hate to say it, it's very disparaging to me, very discouraging, because a lot of my customers, they get all excited to come in here and get something done. Then they pay me, and then it takes forever for me to get to their project and get it going. And it seems like the project takes forever to get done. It's because I'm not slapping it together. I'm doing everything as to the best that I can. Like the last 24 pill I did, I honestly feel that that particular customer didn't think that that box was ever going to get built because it was taking me so long to getting around to doing his particular project, to where he was getting almost negative and he wasn't even returning my phone calls when I tried to reach out to him. So now he got the box and he's all super happy and everything's grand, but it's that patience. It's just patience. And believe me, it takes an intestinal fortitude over here to which you guys will never understand to continually pump out these crazy projects like this. Oh, I wish I could just go back to making 22 pills at a time and, you know, like a 4x4 or 2x4 every other day. But, not to mention the amount of repairs I have sitting here that I need to get to. But all I can do is one thing at a time, the best that I can do it, move on to the next thing. See, then I gotta come through and I gotta trim, like this side's all soldered down. So after I get all the legs bent on this thing, I gotta come through and solder everything. Then I gotta trim everything. Then I gotta take it over to the belt sander and sand everything because we can't have any high edges or sharp points, sharp edges, because they have a tendency to spit off little electron step leaders off of them. It's like if I lived in the ultimate of ultimate worlds, I would probably put this in a recessed pan that was about a 1/4 inch thick, and I would put this in epoxy, this side. But by doing that, we're committing ourselves to never being able to repair it. But insulating it behind that epoxy would allow us to have no step leader issue, or is what people also refer to as a corona arc issue, which that's not correct. It's a step leader thing. Not to mention every single time I go to band check this, the phone would ring. And not for this business where I'd just ignore it and I'd stay focused. For the other company, so I have to stop, I have to answer. If I get one more Google service rover call, oh my God. Whew, man, telemarketers suck. All right, I'm gonna finish this. Quit my bitching. I think when we come back, we're gonna be fabricating our copper straps to go down here on the ends of the board and over here as well. Our AC input straps for down here and so on. I hope. This is what I had pictured in my head months and months and months and months ago when I decided I was going to do this. We'll see. The only thing I got left to do now is hang the fans, the cooling fans in this thing, and run the power wire from bottom board to the top board to tie the bridge together. I got to solder in my primary bus over here for the AC, and then the 2 DC outs, the negative and the positive. This thing will stiffen right up as soon as we so I get all the nuts on it. It's able to wiggle on a lot of axes. That needs to come up a little bit. Yep. Yep. I gotta be careful. Those nylon nuts cost like about $1 billion a piece. Gotta be careful, them nylon nuts cost about $1 billion a piece. Holy smokes. Believe me, this thing will stiffen up. And I want it to flex. I don't want it to be stiff. I'm excited. I'm getting close to being done now. This makes me happy. And then I'll wash it, and I will wash it to get all the fiberglass dust off of it, and then I gotta go wash me. Oh yeah. Getting better. So Now we're going to put our Heiko strain reliefs in for our high voltage connections. And now, because we don't want to get these boards too hot, we're going to we're going to solder down our hookup points. Tin this out real quick. Now the $6 million question is, do I want to drill a hole for this little insert? This is nylon, and I bought this with the intention that I would punch a hole through each one of these to help hold them down. But I'm afraid that when we go to solder on these, when this thing gets delivered, that the nylon's going to melt. And I designed this thing to move around, you guys, but I mean that's stout enough for what we're going to do with it. And then we're going to take our high voltage lead and run up and down this set of nylon. Now you got to remember, our surface area is dramatically increased on the nylon. This is just like the flutes on a barrel. So our surface area is radically increased, so that means the length of this rod electrically is like 5 times longer. So I'm gonna zip tie or tie, probably hand tie, the high voltage leads to these rods to help keep them separated in free space. Yeah, but there's an 8-inch gap here between each one of the legs. Got plenty of room, but I'm on the fence about using these. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send them on with the board. And if D wants to put these in, he's more than welcome to, but I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. Okay. We snuggled our high volt lead to our Heikos. Now we're going to slowly and very evenly heat the 600 volt heat shrink. Now the heat shrink's important, because I discovered if there's any kind of tension or a torque, like this is going to be applied to the silicone, that we need to support it. This does zip all for insulation purposes. But what this does allow us to have is a glued boot. This is epoxy filled. So when this cools off, that'll be harder than the backside of my head, and it'll give torque support to the wire passing through the silicone, so it won't want to migrate through the silicone boot, thus maintaining our insulation properties at the wire point, which is kind of cool. That was a painful experience. The phone rang, and I was standing here looking directly at this connection down here, the bottom one, the opposite one of this, and I was soldering this wire into place, and there's a little bit of back torsion on this wire. And it got away from me. And the wire is completely loaded full of solder. And proceeded to flick all of its solder load directly into my eye socket. Now, I like you, D, but I don't like you enough to give you one of my eyeballs, man. And it flicked and filled my whole eye. Now, I seen it coming, and I like closed my eye, so it like glued my eyelashes together with solder. So I immediately went into the bathroom, started flushing my eye out with contact solution, and I was able to peel the solder balls out, and thank God nothing got in my eye. But I've got a little bit of a burning sensation going on, like I've got chlamydia in my eye or something right now. It's from this shit. Good times. Good times. So it was like, it went flick, just like that. So it went and it just unloaded everything it had in it. Right into my eyeballs. So needless to say, now I'm scared. I got my safety squints on, because safety's third, you know. Let's get just a little bit of solder in there to help this joint out. There we go. Beautiful. That's it. It's as far as I'm going with this thing tonight. I've had my eyeball burned. I'm covered in fiberglass dust. One of these two boards I had to redo twice. One was because I didn't visualize it properly, and the other one was because I was a dingus. But I think the only thing I got left to do tomorrow is hook up some a couple fans in here to circulate some air in this space, and I think I'm ready to go. I think I'll load it up on the high pot tester tomorrow and see if it rectifies up to about 10,000-15,000 volts. And I think we're gonna start making ready to ship it out of here. So when we come back, we're gonna be installing some fans. It will be the next day, but for now, peace, yo. I'm out of here. Man. Talked with D. He's happy. Everybody's happy. The only thing I didn't show on video was me packaging this thing and mounting up the fans. So it's got two. Let me back this up a little bit. It has two 120 millimeter fans in it. That's a big damn rectifier, I'm here to tell you. Now I did run this up on my neon sine transformer. Took it up to about 9,000 volts. I had no leakage. Everything ran fine. I strongly implore D, when he gets it on his end, to run it up on his high pot tester and make sure there's no leakage on anything in here. On a little side note, 35 texts to tell me one thing, I guarantee it. Let me go over here and mute this for a second. On a side note, is the only thing is the fans, the way they're mounted now, I'd turn them around so that the 110 volt leads come out this direction. But other than that, it's done, guys. This is the heart of the beast. This right here. Without this, nothing else chooches. So I'm really proud to have got the opportunity to be able to be involved in this. This particular build goes back even further. I happen to have had the tube and the socket and a few other parts, and was able to get that into this project as well. So I'm really, really excited to see how this runs. Yeah, good use of a couple thousand diodes. I cannot believe the Chinese can't measure. Boxes of 200 turned out to be about 150 on average. I think they do it by weight. They don't actually count anything, so. But guys, I'm out of here. I gotta let this go. It's gotta go home today. I'm on a tight timeline for delivery on this. So the big black package is off. And how they go about using it from here, out of my hands. Gentlemen, I thank you all for tuning in. And believe me when I tell you, Big projects are coming. Big new projects are coming. I'll see ya. And guys, real quick before I run away, as always, big thanks to, well, all of you, first off, for having the patience to let me work through all these exotic projects. I know I'm incredibly slow, but then the quality of the product is way high. And I know I get really wrapped up in, ooh, look at me, pay attention to me, and look at what I'm building today. It's not that. It's just I'm excited to show everybody what I'm doing. And it's gotten fun for me at this point. So big shout out to the guys over at XS Power, big shout out to Siglant, big shout out to Bird, big shout out to the guys at Coaxial Dynamics. Giant thanks to you guys. Appreciate you bunches. Big shout out to, let's just run down the list. Wolfman CB Shop, Truck CB Cells, and as always, not last but should be first, Zane at Big Rig Radio, and the rest of my clan of guys that all run around with me. And big thanks to Shockwave, and big thanks to Prime for teaching me about big rectifier boards. So on that note, guys, I've got to run. Got to give credit where credit's due. See you, gentlemen. Peace. And 418, brother, nothing but love for you too. We'll see ya.